Hey guys, Zomfox here, and today it is time to do the State of the Channel video for 2025. Second year we're doing this, just an overall look back at 2024, where we are right at the beginning of 2025, what the year outlook is, a bunch of stuff like that. So without further ado, let's get started with the one sort of announcement. It's not really an announcement, but, I started last time with a couple announcements. I figured this is a good time as any. So here is the Power Rankings thumbnail from last season. Now the reason I'm showing you this is to show kind of one of the very few things, admittedly, that I've been trying to get ready for this upcoming season, as we have the new Power Rankings thumbnail for the 2025 UFL season. I'm slowly trying to kind of revamp some of these thumbnails for the videos that we're going to keep doing, Power Rankings, week review, Super 6 stuff, that kind of thing. Power Rankings seem like the biggest one. It's the biggest video of each week, being that it is the Power Rankings, and I figured it was a pretty bland thumbnail. It just had the simple, what week it was up top, the simple message of, what's this week's special thing we're doing, and then the big UFL logo. I figured this is something that it keeps the same vibe, but it also adds a bit more color. Having the team logos on it makes it just a slightly better, more eye appeal one. Community members have seen this. I posted this as the members about like a couple months ago when I made this one. So I hope that overall you enjoy this one. Again, just wanted to start this, State of the Channel with a little flash forward of kind of what we're going to see in 2025 with this new logo for the Power Rankings. Again, I'll probably try to change at least one or two more. I'm not going to force a change if it doesn't really need it, but I figured this is a good one. Let me know down below in the comments if you like this one. But without further ado, let's get to some of the stats from 2024. The views. Yeah, you're going to see that this is the case for all three of them, but the views were insanely good this year. Look, we talked about in 2024, right? The end of 2023, really from like November to December, was when the channel started to really grow. That was when we had the biggest talk about the merger happening between the USFL and XFL. Saw a lot of growth there, and it continued to 2024. We had that initial surge continuing in January, tapered a little bit in February when it was getting, in the middle of the big announcements to the season. And when the season started and was getting closer to starting and all that, it just continued. Had a couple big videos like right before the season kicked off, like QB ranking videos, the tier list both did really well, and a few other ones. Then the season overall was the best overall season in terms of viewership we had. Now, the off-season, of course, has tapered down a decent amount due to mainly the fact that it's the off-season. And the biggest difference was 2023, we still had two off-seasons to talk about, the XFL and USFL. Didn't have that this year. So, much slower grind, still trying to do videos. As I put out more videos than I've done in any other year, right? I did a video for a while. It was every 3 days I was putting out a video. Then it got to essentially the NFL season where it became, Monday, Friday, you're getting two videos there, and you might get another one or a stream. We started doing streams this year. Never did that in 2023 or 2022. Started that this year. Did a bunch more shorts than we had done the year prior, since we obviously only started doing shorts pretty late into 2023. So a lot of stuff there. Started community memberships as well, which we'll talk about in a second, but really solid overall. So that was a good thing for the views, was really solid, especially when you consider the fact that I'm putting up both 2023 and the lifetime minus 2024. This year alone, we got almost 30K more views than the entire channel's history minus 2024. So just insane year there. And that continues with the watch time, watch hours. Again, insanely more. Over twice as many watch hours in the channel's history minus 2024 we got in 2024 alone. 7.1. Now, there's a couple caveats. Now, live streams helped out a ton in this number. Now, even without them, I still would have easily broken 3.4K. Let's be very clear here. But the live streams helped a lot. Like, for instance, like the Battlehawks Defenders live stream we did very early on had about like 80 hours of watch time by itself. Some of these streams that did really well would have close to 70 hours of watch time like that, just from the stream itself. Remember, if it's a 3.5 hour stream, and you even have just like 10 people watch the whole thing, that alone is over 30 hours. Then if you have a bunch of people who stay for like a 40 minutes to an hour and a half, it keeps going up. So even like the lower performing streams still had close to 20 hours of watch time. Then of course still had some big videos, which of course with the live stream, back to that, that's a huge reason why like the May area is, because that's when we really started like hammering in live streams, was closer to like midway to the end of the season. Then of course still had a few other big videos, the expansion videos that happened this year. Of course, were all really big performers. Expansion videos always do really well. I don't really want to milk them, but I want to do what I do. So we ended up doing, we did enough. And really well performed. Again, watch time just insane. Then subscribers gained, again, more subscribers gained in this year alone than the channel's history before that. Before that, it was 389, and we gained 555 in 2024 alone. Now, you see the huge spike, which if you know what that is, you know what that is. I'll talk about that later, which is why I had the huge spike up and the slight spike down. But still, overall, like that area right before March was the overall best performing in a subscriber standpoint this channel had ever had. It was like every single day, it was like 5+ subscribers, which is just really big for a channel like this and was a really good time. In the off season, it's very slow grind, slow burning, because again, there's only so much you can really talk about the UFL without trying to milk videos that are just, again, milking out expansion videos or milking things like that. But still, overall solid gain. I'm hopeful that we might be able to hit 1,000 before the season starts again. If it's anything like last year, we did have that influx again before the season started, so hopefully we see that again. But again, subscribers, really good. Now, before we get into the top 10 videos, of course, the channel member thing started this year. We are currently at 4 channel members, and, it was a really good thing. We started that around the time I made the stand-up channel. I don't remember exactly when that started. It was somewhat around the Q&A time because, of course, the 500 subscriber was the benchmark to be able to unlock it. We're up to 4 members. Strange and G-Man are both at the yellow little badges, I believe 6 months plus. Mole 10 and Trevor are both there as well. The 2 community heroes as well. We have the community friend, obviously. Still only have the 2 tiers. Do I want to add another one? Sure, but I'm not going to add another tier that's more expensive. I don't have anything to, say why I'm going to do that. Because admittedly, the community hero tier, I've done a good job at posting for community members overall, but community heroes, I need to do a bit more exclusive stuff. So, again, Mole, Trevor, and anyone else who wants to join that, I will be trying to do much better on that tier, so just be on the lookout for that. As well, we're up to like 5 team emojis and all that. It's a really cool thing, so being able to do this and get to, I don't know exactly how many videos I'm at now. I'll have the image on screen about how many. That's the one image I completely forgot to make heading into this video, so you'll see that in a second, but we're like almost at a full year's worth of community member videos, so it's been really cool to do that. It allows me to branch out to other sports and do videos for it without, putting random videos on the channel that don't make sense for UFL fans, so enjoyed that. Again, love having the community member stuff. It's a cool thing to do. Again, if you want to become a member, I got a link down below. You see the benefits. You'll see at the end of the video, you'll see your name and all that. It's a cool thing. Now, top 10 videos by views this past year. Number 1, the performance of the top 10 was better than 2023. 2023, we had 3 videos that didn't even crack 1,000 hit the top 10. Every video hit at least 1,100 this year in the top 10, right? The 5 reasons why the league should expand in 2026 at 1,100. The Panthers-Buccaneers live stream actually was the number 1 performing live stream of the season. Of course, that was the OT game between the Panthers and Buccaneers. Great game. Hit a huge mark. And then, of course, the which team should return tier list. That was a suggestion video. Did really well. Cities the league could expand to came out in December and still managed to get up this high in the list. The recap of the Super Draft did really well. I did not expect that to do as well as it did. And it was a really solid video. Just, talking about what it was. The UFL to have 12 teams in 2025 and 16 in 2026. That was a very early on report that we had heard. Did almost 2K. Then we had not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 videos hit 3K this year. The UFL launches first expansion process back in November, late November. That was when we heard that rumor, or not the rumor, the official, hey, we're going to start that process. 3K views. How bad was the attendance really? 3K views. Then the ranking every United Football League QB from worst to best and the UFL teams that didn't make it odds to return, or USL XFL, both were just shy of 4,000. They're both going to hit it probably in the next few weeks, just knowing how things go. But for just 2024, they both almost hit 4K. So insanely good year in regards to the top performing videos of the season. Again, the biggest surprise one is obviously the live stream, seeing that one. But again, that one had a huge surge, but that's pretty much what that is overall. Now, in terms of social media, this time last year, we just had Instagram. Now we are on Instagram and X or Twitter, depending which one you want to call it. And I've done a much better job at Instagram. Like, there was a little while where I was doing pretty poor in posting. And, like, the day I'm recording this, I'm probably going to post a Matt Colburn jersey on there. So, if you know what day I post that, that's what day I recorded this. This video is probably going to come out, like, a few days after I record it. But We're back on Instagram doing more content on there and just trying to upload at least once every 2 weeks, but I'm trying to do it once a week. Gonna do much better during the season, obviously, like I did last year. Planning to do those like weekly memes I was doing. I know a lot of people love those. I'm probably gonna try and do that this year. Then on X, I'm on there as well at over 70 followers. Just, it's X. I get to talk about pretty much any sport that I'm watching or anything. Fun time. So that's where the socials are if you want to go follow me there or anything. And then the last thing to talk about in the thing I did last year, of course, is kind of the year in review in terms of content made and all that. I mean, it was a great time. Like, of course, when you look at it, honestly, I think the coolest moment in truth was probably being on the UFL's Twitter. Of course, that's me in the top right of the picture at the UFL Championship game. Had a Michigan Panthers PR person want to take a picture of me since I was rocking a Michigan Panthers jersey in like the fourth row. Got that picture taken, and it was, put on social media. I think it's still my most liked repost or quote tweet on Twitter, and it was one of my best performing posts on YouTube because it was just a really cool thing. Speaking of really cool thing, the Tom Grossi raid, right? During one of my live streams, I got raided by Tom Grossi, big NFL creator, huge fan of the Packers and all that. It was a really cool moment to be a part of. And then speaking of live stream cool moments, of course, you have the iconic best offense in the league from the Renegades Roughnecks, which was the first live stream I did. I always forget that was the very first one I did, but the very first live stream I did in the channel was the Tank Bowl for the season between the Renegades and Roughnecks, which had that iconic moment where Curtis Johnson stated, "We have the best offense in the league," heading into halftime, despite at that point, and would continue for a few weeks, the team had never scored over 20 points and were playing like trash. Iconic moment, hilarious. Then the 2024 UFL Championship game. Yes, did the game absolutely suck? Sadly, yes. But it was really cool to go on a road trip to St. Louis with my two best friends, and it was just a really cool time. Great experience, again, aside from the game itself and the drive home, but really cool thing to go to another championship game, and I'm hoping that I can now officially continue to go to every single UFL Championship game. Hoping it's in Birmingham this year, because even though DC would have been a lot closer than Birmingham, I hope it's in Birmingham. Then the other two videos, doing the first interview on the channel was really cool. Jake Milligan, the UFL Cards. It was a cool interview to do. Somebody that I'd, been, talking to for a long time since we both love spring football, both love spring football cards and all that. Being able to do an interview was really cool. I'm hoping to do another one in the next month or two. I've got a few other people that I've talked to online. I'm going to try to get one maybe. And then maybe in the future I get a player. Who knows? But that was a really cool thing to do. I really enjoyed that, and I hope I can do another one soon. Then the collectible exchange order. This is something I've been wanting for years, was an official way to get game used stuff from spring football. And I've talked about it before, and it's going to sound like a mini rant again, but people complaining about the prices don't know how much this stuff really is. Game used jerseys of a player for $200 is an insanely good price when the UFL store itself is charging $120 for a jersey. Then you add on the fact that the balls are only $200 for game use for some of them, and again the UFL charges $175 for a just normal one. Really cool to get it. Again, like I said earlier, I'm going to post the Matt Colburn on Instagram and Twitter. I don't know where I'm going to frame it or hang it up, but I have it framed. Really cool to have that. Wish there was more UFL and USFL stuff on there. Wish there was more Panther stuff, but it was really cool to get a ball from what I would say is probably the overall best game to watch or rewatch as a Panthers fan is that game against the Stars where he made the playoffs from it. Just a really cool time. So that pretty much does it for the overall state of the channel this year. Now, heading into next season and this year, what exactly is the goals for 2025? Look, last year I talked about at the end of the year I wanted to hopefully hit 700 subscribers, and we ended up hitting that during the season. Now, honestly, in terms of real goals, the only real goal I have is I want to hit 1,000 by the season starting. If I don't, it is what it is, but I'd like to hit it by then. Aside from that, I guess finish the year out with 1,200, or 1,250, just another, overall benchmark number that isn't, asking for a ton. It just continue the growth we're having. Had a few videos do really, really well this past season, continue to do that. Again, we are doing videos where it's to a point now where there's a lot of stuff that I can do every year that are fun and then add new things. Like this past year, adding things like the, Q&A we did for 500 subscribers, the what ifs that we started doing a couple of, the AF to UFL videos. Things like that are really cool to do. I still did do some OG USFL stuff like the best franchises, the worst franchises videos are really cool to make. So it's always cool to do stuff like that. Then, overall personal stuff, 2024 was probably one of, if not my best years of my life overall. Were there some bumps in the road? Yeah. But overall, it was a really good year in a lot of ways, not even just the channel perspective. And 2025, I'm hoping to do better. I've got like 5 goals that I wrote down on my calendar on my phone. That's gonna hit me with that notification December 31st of hey, it's December 31st, and I'm gonna see how many of those I can do. My goal is to get at least 3 of those 5 benchmarks set, and you'll know what those benchmarks are in 2025 when I do my state, or 2026 when I do my channel thing then. Still weird to say we're in 2025, but like I said, I got like 5 goals for this year. Gonna try to get at least 3 of them, and then I'll talk about them next year if I ended up getting them, didn't, what happened, all that. Again, just a really solid year. Trying to get a lot of things better, channel-wise, personal level, all that kind of thing, and it was a great year. And I mean, a lot of it is because of this great community we've got. I mean, when you can do a live stream and always know that you're going to have a few people there that are going to be there almost every single time, make the experience better, or the fact that you can post videos and know that you're going to get people to comment on them because they care about the same league, the same thing as you, it's overall a great feeling. It's one thing I've always talked about that I've not been a huge fan of with other creators of spring football. I'm not going to name any names, but when guys don't even have comments on or only respond with like a blanket response, it's like that's like half the point of being on YouTube is to interact with people, right? I mean, if you didn't want to interact with people, you'd be on TV or on a podcast, something like that. But if you're on YouTube, you're supposed to interact with the community, and I do my best to try and do that. And it's something I take a lot of pride in, is doing that. So, it's what I do. I try to read every comment. Now, replies, I'm not going to be able to get every single one because YouTube system, they're trying to find replies new to you is like horrible. I always try to, at least the first couple days, get every reply, but at least the comments, I always try to respond with something that, says something about it, my thoughts or something. Just trying to interact with people, and it's a great thing. Again, if you've gotten through this video, this overall 2024 Yap session about this past year, thank you. Again, this is a channel that has grown a ton over this past year, and a lot of that is obviously because of you guys. Whether you just watch the videos, whether you like them, you share them or anything, any of it helps. And it's always been a great thing to know that this community has just continued to grow. And hopefully 25 is a great season. Again, there's a lot of things to be excited for. The return to TD ECU Stadium, the potential of the championship game being in a new place like Birmingham, hoping that we get, a more competitive league this year instead of it being these 4 teams are clearly going to make the playoffs and these 4 aren't kind of deal, but we'll see. Again, thank you all for watching, and thank you all for supporting the channel, whether you've been here since the beginning in December of 2021, whether it's, now 2025. Thank you. And as always, guys, have a great night.